Okay guys, so in this tutorial basically what I'm going to be showing you is at least the beginning steps of how to model this Hylian shield that I made. Well, I'll probably just be going over like how to set up the frame of it and maybe some of these other shapes like this. I'm not sure, we'll see how far we get in half an hour. I don't want to make these longer than that. Okay, no, I don't want that. So the first thing I do is I go to the front view by pressing F4, and then I do Shift V to bring up this viewport menu, I guess, and click on the back here and then load an image into the back, and I'll make this image available to you. If I can find it myself. This one. I actually made my Hylian shield out of like, I think 3 different Hylian shield models from the different games, but we'll just stick to the original Ocarina of Time one this time. Okay, so now you got this model, or this picture, and this is basically what we're going to use to model the shield after. So let's get started. So basically all you're going to start with, believe it or not, is a cube. If you model much, then it's not that big of a revelation, but if you don't, believe it, it's just a cube. So you got your cube, and we're going to make this symmetrical. So basically we don't need, I'm pressing F1 here to switch to this view, we don't need the left half of this model, so I'll be getting rid of it here in a minute. F5 goes to all viewports. Okay, so we got that set up. The next thing we'll need to do is hit C to make the cube editable. And alright, and I'm gonna go on ahead and hit MK to get your knife tool out, and over here are, oh, and then go into point mode, and then over here is your basically just the different things you can do with your knife tool. I'm going to do a loop so I can cut this right down the middle, and that's it, I think. Visible only, it doesn't apply to this. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do before you click anything, hit shift, and that'll lock that line into place, and then change this to 50% exactly, and now click. Now you've got a line right down the center of this cube, and then if you hit 9 to get your selection tool, just click these and delete them. Okay, I forgot. First, after you hit 9 to get your selection tool, click this only select visible elements, get rid of that, and then select those 2 points and delete them. Now you have what you need instead of, you know, what you don't. And right now the scale in Z for this is way too much, so I'm gonna bring that down. I should have done that before. I made this object editable, but either way it will be okay. Okay, that looks okay. 0.3 looks alright for now. Okay, so once you got that done, basically the next thing we're going to do is just realign these points pretty roughly. Eventually we'll add more geometry to this, but for right now, just line them up kind of close to what we need. And we're going to need one more point, so This time you'll do line, at least I would, and I will, and uncheck visible only, and then just draw a line through there, then hit 9, or you could hit space. Space goes between the last two tools you were in, or you've used, and then I'll bring this point over here, and now we've got the base here. So the next thing, or the tip of the shield, I guess, I don't really know what you want to call that. So the next thing we want to do is get your selection tool again by pressing 9. Make sure that this time only select visible elements is checked, and go over here, click the face, and you'll want to hold Control if you're on a Windows and Command if you're on a Mac, and pull this out, and that will kind of do an extrusion for you basically, rather than just move the face. And we'll get that out here and move it down. And now we'll just line that up. Oh. Whenever you're doing the points, make sure you do only select visible elements is off. You'll see me constantly forget to do that, so I'm sorry if that irritates you. I'm not perfect. Okay, so we also need to add this bend, so we'll make another line. By the way, I'm just pressing MK, basically back to back, not at the same time, but one after the other, to bring up the knife tool and make cuts. And maybe I'll make one more. I should probably wait. Hopefully I don't, feel the repercussions later from doing that too early, or earlier than normal. Okay, so you can kind of see the shape. It's starting to come out, barely, but it is. And now we'll go on ahead and select a face again, this face here, and extrude it. And this extrusion you're going to want to stop around here, because we're going to have to make an extrusion that pops out here. And you'll see why we need to stop here in a second. Alright. And go back to faces and hold Control or Command and extrude this out again. And get your point mode. Line this up here with this edge. And that looks pretty good. So then we'll come back here, make sure you click only select visible elements, click this face this time, and then just hit Control, pull it out, and then we'll realign the points, make sure only select visible elements is off. Okay, so now you've got that little piece of geometry, which is cool. And now we'll go back to what we were doing before. Make sure you only select visible elements, click that face, hold Control, pull this down. Looking okay. Alright. Uncheck visible elements, pull this out. Hit the space bar and go back to your knife tool, or hit MK if you've done something else in between this time. It sounds silly, but I like to think of this as just like a 3D version of masking, because to me that's kind of what it reminds me of if you do much After Effects stuff, and that's primarily what I do is After Effects work. Some 3D, but most people employ me, I should say, to do After Effects work. Okay, so we got that's looking good, and we will extrude this again. Let's go around there. And we'll go back to point mode. It's looking okay. Yeah, it's looking alright. And then we'll select this face. I wonder what the best way to do this would be. I didn't do this one originally, so sometimes I think it'd be better if I cut it off right there. Okay, so we'll adjust these points. Oops. Forgot to check the select visible elements, of course. And we'll make another line and go back to our selection tool. You know, we don't have to line this up perfectly, because once we get our subdivision surface in here, it's really going to round the points out for us, or the edges out for us, and we'll have to make even more lines to adjust for that. Okay, so I think the best way to go about making this shape is going to be to extrude this way. Take our points and line them up again. Come on. Okay, and then from this one down here, we're gonna extrude it. Oh. There's gotta be a hotkey for that I just don't know. If you know it, let me know, please. That'd be great. Okay, I think that looks okay. And I'll make another cut in here so that I can line this up even better. Yeah, looks pretty good. Okay, so now we'll go back to extruding this guy. Okay, I should stop here. And oh, come on. All right. Okay. Now we'll extrude it one more time. Okay. And whoa, that is not what I wanted to check. We'll extrude this last face here and shape it up. Boom. Come on. Okay, so now you have the basic geometry of your shield, and of course we only have one side, but we'll fix that really quick here. The first thing I want to do though is make sure that all of these are centered. So basically what I'm going to do here is just zero these all out. And it's a little too high. That's actually already on 0, so is this one. So is that one. Okay, so the reason we're zeroing these out is because when we put the symmetry effector, I can't remember what this is called. Basically when we put symmetry on it, if it's not centered, or all of these points here, I should say, are on the same line, then you're going to have some space in between the two. But if they're centered, you'll have this perfect replica on the other side that lines up perfectly with your mesh, if I can say the word. Okay, so now you have this outline. The next thing we're going to go over here is you always want to use these the subdivision surface, and I know that this subdivision surface was called something else, and I think before Cinema 4 4D R15, or maybe it was R14, where they changed this to subdivision surface. It used to be called something else. Just look for, I mean, it's basically just this, the default thing that if you click on your NURBS object, it's going to produce. So just click on this NURBS thing, icon, and that's what you'll have, a subdivision surface. And you can see here when you make this subdivision surface, everything gets really, really round. And that's because you don't have enough geometry to keep everything, you know, I guess more pointed, ridged, whatever you want to refer to it as. So basically what we need to do is go in and add more lines so that things will be more distinct. Okay, so we'll turn off our subdivision surface and we'll go in here to these lines and we'll together figure out how to make this much more jagged, I guess, when you apply the subdivision surfaces. So hit MK to go to your knife tool and click on your cube over here. And I think I always have to think about what's the best way to start this. I think the first thing I'll do maybe okay, the first thing I'll do, I think, is just to add, press MK, go to your knife tool. I'll add some loops around these edges here, so we give it some more depth. And I don't really know. I mean, I think this is just the back part of the shield. I'm not gonna make this because I've made this before. And I really didn't like the way it looked. It just didn't look as good to me. But anyway, that's beside the point. So we'll add a loop here, and we'll add a loop down here. And because of that loop, if you turn on the subdivision surface, you can already see that it's getting a little bit more defined in these areas. So that's basically the theme here of what we're going to end up doing. It's just putting more lines to define the surfaces. So we'll put a loop here. We will change this to a line and draw in a line here. We'll draw in a line here. Maybe we'll put some more lines in there. We'll come back to that. We'll put a line here, basically on either side of these. And it's important that you make sure that these are going through to the back. If it doesn't, then you're going to have A, some geometry issues, and B, some other issues that I can't think of off the top of my head while I'm trying to figure out what to do next. Okay, so we'll draw some more lines. Actually, I don't think I like that line. Make sure that went through. Sometimes these, okay. Don't. Okay, it went through. Good. Find that if you drag this past, okay, that's not even close to where I wanted to go. If you drag this past the line here, or have some point where it's not like actually touching the line, it'll go all the way through to the other side. You have to make sure that you have this visible only unchecked though, or else it definitely won't go around to the back. Nope. And we'll make one more line for good measure here. Probably gonna have to go back and do this to every single one of these cuts, but we'll see. I don't want to make more cuts than I have to. Come on. Okay. And I'll just make a cut. Nope, don't like that one. I like to try to make these pretty close, because the closer you get to the edges, the more defined it's going to be. Okay, so let's see what we got so far. That's looking better. Got a much nicer shape now than we did before. Oh, some issues. Things are really lagging today. Normally, actually I've never had this problem, but I guess I am today. Maybe I'll just turn off Google Chrome. I know it sucks up a lot of RAM. Okay. So now we got the, the basic outline of the shield. Wow, this is going really slow. Okay. And we've got the crease down here, but I kind of feel like it's either too rounded or too big. So I'll go see if I can fix it. I have a feeling it's probably because, yeah, these didn't get centered. I guess I didn't hit enter the first time. Who knows? Okay. Alright, so there we go. That is how you make the outline of the shield. And there's some small geometry problems here. Maybe there's just an extra point, I don't know. We'll try to optimize. To optimize this stuff, you just right click, do optimize, and that'll get rid of any extra points you've accidentally made or extra faces that don't belong. So now it looks actually looks a little better than it did before, but I'll double check this one more time, make sure that they're all in the same place. Okay, looks like they are. So if I keep having this problem, then I'll eventually either get rid of maybe this point here. Maybe I'll try that. No, I definitely don't want to do that. I don't know. No matter what, I'll get rid of it. I'll fix the geometry before the end of it. But anyway, for now, we'll stick with this. You've got the basically the base of your shield, and episode we'll do all this kind of finer detail, the triforce, the whatever this thing is, the bird, and this bottom little triforce piece. And after that, we'll put the back of the shield in here, texture it, and we should be done. So there'll be 2 more episodes, but for right now, you've got the base of it and the base of, you know, the core concepts behind what we'll be doing next. So if you want to try and do something or part of it on your own, go on ahead. I think you can do at least this stuff based on what I've showed you so far, so give it a try. But, you know, if you don't want to, the next episode will be here in a day or 2 anyway, so don't worry about it. Alright, I'll see you guys next time. Be sure to check out some of my other tutorials where I go over things like how to create custom plants in Vue, how to create clouds in Vue, various After Effects tutorials, and more of how to create things in Cinema 4D. So, thanks for watching.